Hey you guys, I know it's a long time no see. This video is over the art of detachment. Now, I'm not an expert, so I can't go too deep into this, but I want to tell you guys at least like when to know if you should detach from someone. So without further ado, let's get into it. First, I want to go into the importance of energy reciprocation. This could be with a friend, family, romantic partner, anyone, just anyone that you have a relationship with in general. Energy reciprocation is basically what it sounds like, somebody reciprocating energy. And I know we all have people in our lives who do reciprocate energy, and we all know when we have people who do not reciprocate energy. And those people who don't reciprocate energy, give them the boot. If you are in a situation with someone, family, friend, romantic partner, and you're the one constantly pushing for it, you don't want to end up in one of those states where you're mentally drained or you're burnt out because you're putting all your energy into these people and they're just not giving you anything back, or they're just breadcrumbing you back. You deserve better, you deserve more, and I'm here to help you get there. And I also want to say that when people reciprocate energy, it lets you know that they want you in their life just as much as you want to be in their life. When you're the one putting in all the energy, you're putting in all the work, your place and your value doesn't hold the same place to that person. Not to you, but to that person. And you should bring them down a couple notches too. If you're texting and calling someone all day and they never initiate the conversation, maybe you should stop initiating conversation just to see, will you guys stop talking, or will they pick it up? I do think that you should at least bring it up at least once. People know what they're doing, but just for the say of it, you should definitely say, hey, bring it up and see where it goes from there. Once you address the problem, whatever result you get the very first time, that's how that person feels about you. Once you address your issue with someone, if they keep doing the same thing constantly, that lets you know what value you hold in their life and what respect that person has or does not have for you. They heard you the first time. Make sure you only say it once. Another big thing I want to talk about in this video is to believe people to be who they present themselves to be the first time. Another thing I want to say is, don't hold on to a situation where someone isn't reciprocating the energy that you're giving because you're scared to be by yourself. Just make sure that you're not settling for a half-assed connection with anyone. Don't care who it is. Like I said, don't settle for a half-assed connection, a half-assed reciprocated energy cycle, or half-assed loyalty from anybody just to have something. Sometimes having nothing is better than having something. I don't know who came up with that. Something's better than nothing. No. In some cases, it's not. I'd rather have no loyalty than some of it from a person. You either loyal or you're not. You can't pick and choose when you want to be loyal. That's not loyalty. You can't pick and choose when you want to be honest. That's not honesty. You can't be forthcoming sometimes and not be forthcoming all the time. That's not forthcoming. Some people don't have moral compasses. And with them not having a moral compass, it shapes the way they act. Your moral compass shapes the way you act and the way you carry on, just like mine does. There are certain things that I would not allow myself to get into, and there are certain things I would not do because I have morals and I'm a lady at the end of the day. There are people here that were raised a completely different way than you were. They grew up on a different set of standards and morals, or no standard or morals, and it shapes the way they act. And sometimes it don't even be the way they're raised. Some people just get out here in these streets and get to misbehaving. But that's not for you to condemn them on. But you can pick and choose if you want to deal with it, and I urge you not to. The highest utmost of urgency that I can urge you to not do, that's the one. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't feel like you have to have this false sense of loyalty, this ride or die thing for these people. You can't ride and die for somebody that won't ride and die for you. It's ride or die. They're not riding and dying. How you gonna ride and die? Why would you ride and die? Hypothetically speaking, if this was the end of time and you had to pick that person, you gotta fight with me, like as my pair, my partner. I'm right here and you right here. Whoever this person is, I'm right here, you right here. We're paired together. You have to aid me and I have to aid you to get through this battle. Would you trust this person with your life to help you fight that fight to the death? Like really ride or die? No. You might need to reevaluate the situation. You can't solve a problem until you come to the realization that you actually have a problem. And another point I want to highlight before I go, people will tell you a lot of things in this life. Make sure overall that when it comes to energy reciprocation, that these people are telling you stuff, but the actions are going along with it. It's easy to know when someone is reciprocating energy, and it's easy to know when it's time to detach. It's harder to actually recognize these things for what they are and then go from there. So I urge you guys just to pay attention to the pattern of action and the pattern of words. They have to align. And make sure that you're trusting your gut. Make sure that you're trusting your gut. I promise you, before anybody get the, you'll feel the energy. Prime example, if somebody is telling you that they care and they love you and they're going to treat you better, but they don't treat you better, believe the action, not the words. I could tell you anything. I could literally tell you anything. You know the people that be selling cars? They tell them folks anything to get them to drive off the lot. And another thing to acknowledge is when somebody is breadcrumbing you, not treating you right, disrespecting you, internalize that as they don't care. Like I said in the Let Them video, sometimes people are not in a place within themselves to treat you like anything other than what they're used to treating you like. People will test you and test you, and then they treat you according to what you put up with and what you allow. Young men, young ladies, everybody watching this video, if you don't take anything from this video, I want you to listen to this one thing. When that person does something the first time and you vocalize it, if they do it again, leave them alone. They do not care and they do not value you enough to respect you, enough to treat you the right way. The way that you're asking them to be treated. Treating somebody right is not hard. And there are some people on this planet that get a lot more with salt than they do sugar, but it doesn't last forever when you want substance. There are a lot of people that do not want substance. They don't look for substance. And you can't expect someone who never had substance, doesn't know anything about substance, to give you substance. At the end of the day, if the energy feels off, it probably is. It more than likely is. So just believe the energy. That pretty much sums up this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you're a return viewer, thank you so much for watching again. I know I left for a minute, but like I said, we're back on schedule. If it's your first time watching, get in the comments and tell me what you think about my perspective on detachment and energy reciprocation. I would love to get in the comments and we just go back and forth and we talk about the stuff. Because at the end of the day, we're having a conversation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to protect your peace at all times. You guys stay blessed, and I'll see you guys again in a day or two. Bye.